Hare Krishna Prabhu. Okay. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanhebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome to everyone. This is our third session together, and we're on Canto 10, Chapter 32, and today we want to cover verses 20, 21, and 22. Right? Before we do so, maybe we can just hear some reflections from yesterday's class. Someone would like to give us some reflections from yesterday's class? Don't all volunteer at once.
Krishna, Hare Krishna Maharaj. We ask Krishna questions, 3 questions regarding motivated, unmotivated, and indifferent, inimicals. We are asking about that. Then Krishna explained in 17, 18, 19. Different.
Yes, different kinds of lovers, right?
Yes.
Motivated, unmotivated,
and indifference. Inimicals. Yes.
Indifferent, right? Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare.
So, what did Lord Krishna have to say? The gopis asked this question to Krishna, but it was it's somewhat of a loaded question, right? The gopis are asking to Krishna, what do you think of these? They actually want to hear from Krishna. They want to know, which one are you, Krishna? They want to know which particular category Krishna falls in his loving affairs. So this is a little bit of the gopis' intention in putting that question to Lord Krishna. They want him to, they're confronting him. What particular kind of lover is he? Is he motivated or unmotivated or indifferent? So, Lord Krishna responds to these questions. First of all, what did he have to say about the motivated person?
Selfish.
Yeah, he's
selfish.
Selfish.
Reciprocate in a selfish mood.
Yeah, Lord Krishna certainly did not have a high regard for that person, for that kind of love. It didn't have any good impression on Lord Krishna. But what about the second class? Who were the people in the second class who were unmotivated? They show love even though the other party may not be responding and may not be appreciative. And
they serve genuinely. They are serving. Even those who fail to reciprocate, then also they serve, like parents, then pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj.
Yes, right. Parents and pure devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. They're very caring. What did Lord Krishna have to say about that kind of love? he
Love
said
that is
actually,
unmotivated, that is unconditional. Pure love, what we say.
yes, he said, where is it? Text 18. Such persons who devotedly serve even those who fail to reciprocate with them are following the true, faultless path of religion, and they are true well-wishers. So, Lord Krishna certainly appreciated the second class, that they're faultless. They're following the true path of religion. They are true well-wishers. And what about the third class, who are indifferent? Someone can summarize these people who are indifferent?
They are the persons, they will not love even those who love them. So they are
Yes.
this type, they are this. You divided that one in four groups. Means examples what we gave total 9. Out of that there was these four: Atmarama, Aptokama, then Apritagna and Guru Droha.
Yes, right. So, Atmarama, self-satisfied. We can't have any fault with them. Someone's Atmarama is realized his self, so he's certainly not doing any harm to anyone. May not be doing any good to anyone, but not doing any harm. Certainly he's well situated, transcendental. So self-satisfied and aptakama. What about this?
They are interested only externally affairs. External affairs they are interested and they are satisfied.
Yeah, they're also satisfied, right? They have no material desire. They've achieved everything. So,
But they are not spiritual person.
But they're not spiritual persons, right? But what about the other two categories?
That is Akritagna. They are ungrateful. They are
Yes.
ungrateful. They take the advantage, but they forget. They don't reciprocate that one. They are Akritagna. They are known as Akritagna.
Yeah, Kritagna. And so we were speaking about how we should try to appreciate the people who have helped us. It's certainly a very nice mood if somebody has that kind of attitude that every day he will remember in his prayers the people who have helped them in their devotional life. Something very important for us. We're certainly, but the Akritagna, they have no appreciation for others. Ungrateful. And then Guru Druha. Guru Druha meaning those who are inimical. Inimical to superiors. Right?
Yeah.
They're not very nice people also. They do harm to people. Right? There were three kinds of Guru Druha. We had some people who are inimical. Some people are inimical to others, to the Guru or to the superiors. someone else wants to do harm, trying to bring injury or bring harm to the superiors. And then you have those who are they're just for no reason. They have no reason to do harm to anyone, but still they want to do harm to people, even to their superiors. So, and like that, 3 kinds of Guru Druha. So these people,
there are 3 types of Guru Droha. They are those who do not respect others. The example given in the answer of the first question was a selfish person. This I am reading from Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary.
yes,
So third, they are just a minute. So Guru Droha, it is said that if there is the cause of the third type is the ungrateful person, Apritagha, though he desires to take it, okay, that is them. The fourth type is the Guru Droha, who does not acknowledge what others have done for him and rather shows excessive hatred towards them, showing causeless hatred. So that is the Guru Droha. And there are these 3 types. Guru Droha are those who do not respect others.
right.
Only that was given. But you gave 3 separate distinctions of these Guru Drohas that I didn't note actually. You gave some from other sources. Maharaj, you read, I don't know which literature you read.
I was reading from whatever the teachers at Vrindavan were using from their text.
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
Yes?
my humble obeisances. Maharaj, you said that 3 types of Guru Guru are those that who are inimical when first reason you said that there is cause of hatred, they are inimical. Second, you said there is no cause of hatred, still they are inimical. And third, you said that there is cause of protection. So these were
They want to do harm or injure someone.
no cause of protection, yes. So these 3 possibilities you gave, 3 types of Guru Droha.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
All right, so it's not actually mentioned here in the Bhaktivedanta text, but in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's text, he's mentioned about these things. All right, so Lord Krishna has explained like this, and then he continues. We can go on. That's going on to text number 20. Who's going to read for us?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept me on the text 20. But the reason I do not immediately reciprocate the affection of living being even when they worship me, O gopis, is that I want to intensify their loving devotion. They then become like a poor man who has gained some wealth and then lost it, and who thus becomes so anxious about it that he can think of nothing else.
Thank you. Yes. So, Lord Krishna is describing the reason why he does not immediately reciprocate with people, even when they worship Lord Krishna. You know, we may experience like this sometimes. We're doing our worship, we're chanting, we're trying our best to do sadhana, but we're not feeling any reciprocation from Lord Krishna. So we may wonder what's going on, why Krishna doesn't reciprocate, why doesn't Krishna respond and tell us, you know, or encourage us. But Krishna says here, I do this, he said, I do not immediately reciprocate. The reason is I want to intensify their loving devotion. So Lord Krishna, he will neglect us or just be indifferent to us in order to encourage us to intensify our loving devotion. If we're having that kind of experience that we're not feeling the reciprocation from Lord Krishna, we wonder, what do I need to do? So, what we need to do is intensify our devotion. You know, people often ask me, you know, as a senior devotee, they will often ask me how they can improve their devotional service. So I tell them, do more devotional service, chant more. How can I improve my chanting? Well, I tell them, well, chant more. You chant more intensely. All right? We want to intensify our mood of devotion. So when we're being neglected by Krishna, it's a reciprocation from Lord Krishna. It's a transcendental reciprocation. On the material platform, if somebody neglects you, you know, it's not very pleasant. You don't appreciate it. But on the spiritual platform, when we're in relationship with Lord Krishna and his pure devotees, then when we're being neglected, that is to encourage us to intensify our mood of devotion. So that intensity is required in order to succeed in our devotional service. And that intensity, you know, it can't just be for a short time. It has to go on. Just like we know from Srimad Bhagavatam, pure devotional service is described. Ahaitaki apratiyata, right? Unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So like that, and our devotion has to be ahaitaki and apratihata. It must be without material motivation, and it must be uninterrupted. It must be like these shops which they have, convenience stores, you know, 24/7. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So our devotional service should be on that kind of level. It should be intense. And this way, we can gradually develop more loving feeling with Lord Krishna. So if we feel that Lord Krishna is not immediately reciprocating with us, we can always try this. Intensify our mood of devotion. And then Lord Krishna gives an example. This interesting example. He said, they become like a poor man who has gained some wealth and then lost it, and who thus becomes so anxious about it that he can think of nothing else. Yeah, I mean, definitely people will have that kind of experience. They may be poor in the beginning of their life. Somehow or other they get some money, and then they try to invest it, they try to increase it, and they lose it. And then they become so anxious about it that they can think of nothing else. You know, you get these kind of things, people come by and they're telling you, oh, and you've got some money, you can invest it with me, I'll give you a big interest. And you get attracted, you think, oh, he's promising me a big interest, much more than I can get from any other place. I'll give him all my money. And then you give the money to the person and then you get nothing back. And the money's all lost. So certainly you become very anxious. Oh, you feel so regretful. So devotional service, this relationship, Krishna with the gopis, is like that. You see, Lord Krishna had called the gopis, and the gopis had come there to the forest in Vrindavan, and they were with Lord Krishna, and they were all enjoying the company of Lord Krishna. But then Krishna disappeared from them. And when Krishna disappeared from them, they became so anxious that they were searching everywhere for Krishna, going everywhere, asking the trees, asking the different inhabitants of the forest. They asked the rivers, they asked the trees, they asked the creepers, the birds, they asked the deer. They were so much anxious to find Krishna again. So that is the kind of mood. So in the purport, we see this verse, which is Lord Krishna's statement in the Bhagavad Gita, which is describing how he reciprocates with people. Right? Ye yatamam prapajante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. As you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. So, Lord Krishna has his law of reciprocation. It's based on how much we've really taken shelter, how much we've really tried to approach Lord Krishna. So in the purport it says that Lord Krishna may not immediately reciprocate fully. Actually, the Lord is reciprocating. When he doesn't appear, when he appears to be neglecting us, that is his reciprocation. And that is his way of encouraging us to intensify our mood of devotion. So, like that, in our mood of intense devotion, we would pray to the Lord to help us. In the purport it said, the Lord's so-called neglect is actually the fulfillment of the devotee's prayer. Right? The devotee had prayed to the Lord, please help me to love you purely. So Lord Krishna does that in ways which are often inconceivable to our own limited mind and senses. Lord Krishna helps us to intensify our love by separating himself from us. And the result is what we really wanted and prayed for. We get intense love for Krishna. So that separation from Krishna, this is There's a Vipralamba Seva, right? The mood of the gopis. The Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were all in the mood of the gopis. And the mood of the gopis is Vipralamba Seva, which means service in separation. So feeling that separation from Krishna, we become more absorbed in thought of the Lord. We say absence, there's a saying in English, we say absence makes the heart grow fonder. But familiarity breeds contempt. So if the devotee thinks, oh, Krishna is so easy to get his attention, then we won't value something. The more difficult it is to get something, the more we will appreciate it. So when Lord Krishna appears to be neglecting his devotee, actually it's his reciprocation, and he wants us to intensify our mood of devotion. He wants to see our deep and pure desire. And in the purport, the acharyas tell us how when Lord Krishna is speaking like this, the gopis are looking at one another, squinting eyes, and they're trying to hide the smiles breaking out on their faces. The gopis had begun to realize that he was bringing them to the highest perfection of loving service. So we also have to understand the mood of reciprocation with the Lord. And the difficulties which we go through, they're our greatest impetus for devotional service. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says like that the difficulties which we have to undergo, they help us to appreciate more deeply the mood of devotion and the love of Krishna. So Lord Krishna is explaining like this to the gopis. He wants them to understand why he does the things which he did. So this kind of intense devotion, this is required to actually get the real goal of Krishna consciousness. We have to want Krishna so badly that we can cry for it. That we will cry, just as the gopis are crying for Krishna at the beginning of the chapter. The gopis had been searching everywhere, looking for Krishna, and they were crying. And Lord Krishna appears to them. He's smiling. He'd been watching them. Lord Krishna had been watching everything. The gopis said, "What? Where were you? We didn't see you. We were looking everywhere for you." But Lord Krishna said, "No, I'm omnipotent. I'm omnipresent. I'm everywhere. I'm in every tree. I'm in every flower. I'm in every living entity. I'm in the heart of everyone. So I've been watching you. I've been seeing you." And Lord Krishna has been relishing the mood of the gopis as they were searching and trying to find Krishna, and coming to remember Krishna and think more about Krishna in their separation from him. So Lord Krishna is telling the gopis that don't feel bad that, I'm just doing this to help you to increase your mood of devotion. And the gopis are smiling, they're thinking, what kind of lover is this? He calls us into the forest, and then he goes away and he disappears. Then he comes back. Now he's telling us like this. So this is the special mood of the loving service, the mood of the gopis, that mood of feeling separation. And Mahaprabhu follows in the mood of the gopis. And Mahaprabhu and all of his followers, they cultivated this mood, this vipralamba seva, service in separation. I remember one time, one devotee had prepared a children's colouring book. And in the colouring book, they put some simple sentences, and one of the sentences was, Krishna is sitting by the tree. And Prabhupada said, what is this? Prabhupada said, no. He said, you should not say like that. You should say, where is Krishna? You cannot say Krishna is there. You have to say, where is Krishna? He said, the mood of the devotees is feeling separation from Krishna. And that mood of separation will help us to become more and more Krishna conscious. All right, so we'll go ahead. Let somebody who's reading text number 21.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My dear girls, understanding that simply for my sake, you had rejected the authority of worldly opinion, of the Vedas and of your relatives, I acted as did only to increase your attachment to me. Even when I removed myself from your sight by suddenly disappearing, I never stopped loving you. Therefore, my beloved gopis, please do not harbor any bad feeling towards me, your beloved. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you. So, Lord Krishna is describing how the gopis had given up certain things. They'd rejected the authority of worldly opinion. Right? The authority of worldly opinion, certainly, going into the forest and leaving their husbands like that, it's not in line with the worldly opinion. The authority of worldly opinion would never support that kind of behavior. The gopis gave up their vow of chastity simply for the sake of Krishna. And then they've also rejected the Vedas. So the Vedic scriptures meant for the guidance of all humankind. We're meant to follow the Vedas. The Vedas are giving instructions how we can live, how we can improve our material and spiritual life. But the gopis also rejected the Vedas. And then they also rejected their own relatives. Their different relatives, family members. There were young girls, and certainly the joint family system would be there. The young girls would be married at a young age, and they'd be with their husbands, living in the home of their husbands. And to go off into the forest and at night, certainly the relatives would be very puzzled or just very upset with them for doing this. It's even said some gopis, They were not allowed to go, and their family members kept them in the house, and in this way they gave up their bodies because they were not able to go to join Krishna in the forest. It's also said some places that some of the they could give up, they could leave another body there, that a Maya body was there to replace their body. They would go to the forest in their spiritual bodies to join with Krishna. And so, anyway, the point is that the gopis, they make great sacrifices for the sake of Krishna. They want to please Lord Krishna. So they did everything. Lord Krishna says, I acted as I did just to increase your attachment to me. So Lord Krishna, what did he do? Well, first of all, he called the gopis into the forest. He attracted them by his flute playing. And then he tells them, well, why are you coming here? Young girls, you shouldn't be coming here in the forest in the night. This is not good. So after calling them, then he confused them by telling them that they hadn't done the right thing. And then, of course, they have some enjoyment together, and they dance, but then in the course of their wrath, Lord Krishna disappears. Lord Krishna disappears because he detected that there was a mood of pride among the gopis. And Lord Krishna doesn't like to see his devotees becoming proud. So in order to curb that pride of the devotees, Lord Krishna disappeared from them. But Lord Krishna says, even when I remove myself from your sight by suddenly disappearing, I never stopped loving you. So Lord Krishna is explaining, even though he disappeared, he was doing this. It was an exhibition of his love for them, because Lord Krishna wants to see even greater love from them. He wants to bring them to the highest perfection of love. Not just simply love as we know it on the material platform, but the highest mood of transcendental love, which is prema. He wants the devotees to come to the highest levels of loving Krishna. He wants them to develop the topmost prema. So Lord Krishna therefore says to the gopis, don't harbor any bad feelings towards me. He's worried. The gopis, of course, they're trying to accuse Lord Krishna that is your love, is it motivated or is it unmotivated, or are you like a Guru Druha, or what kind of person are you? Are you akritagna? Are you like that? Not appreciative. You don't appreciate what we do for you. So in the purport, you can see is that Krishna appreciates the devotees who are already perfect in their love for him, but still he wants to increase their perfection and to show an example for the world. So we know in different stages of devotional service, they go on to prema. But then prema goes on, there's many different stages above prema, up to mahabhava and mana, all different devotional ecstasies are there in the way of love of Krishna. And this was discussed by Lord Ramananda Rai in the presence of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He described all the different stages of loving devotion and how these are exhibited particularly by the activities of the gopis. That these gopis, these are not ordinary ladies, as we explained. They're great souls from previous lives. They performed many great pious activities and studied many scriptures, and now they have appeared as gopis in the Vrindavan forest. And they're showing the highest mood of loving devotion to Krishna. So, Lord Krishna is at the same time showing his appreciation for them, that you didn't worry about things like worldly opinion or the Vedas or your relatives. It's not easy to go against these kind of things. We know in the material world we often see people coming to Krishna consciousness, and sometimes they want to become devotees. And there will be family members or other people who are opposing or saying that they really don't want anybody they know to be connected with cultivating Krishna consciousness. So similarly, the gopis 5,000 years ago, even in Vrindavan, there was opposition. People didn't want, what? You go off with this cowherd boy? So we have to expect there will be some criticism. And we saw also in the Western world, in Srila Prabhupada's time, at one point devotees were accused of being brainwashed, and there were even cases brought to court where devotees were charged with brainwashing. But the devotees came out successful, of course, and Prabhupada was very pleased. He very much appreciated that the Western governments, they recognized Krishna consciousness as being a bona fide religious process, and there was no objection to the practice of Krishna consciousness. And now it's gone on to be appreciated. So we see even 5,000 years ago, the gopis had problems. It was not so easy for them to just reject everything. Lord Krishna, he wants to bring out that mood of complete surrender to him. And that's why Lord Krishna did as he did. That he wants to increase the gopis' attachment to Krishna. Although they're very attached to Krishna, he wants them to become even more attached. He wants to see them in the madness of transcendental love. So Lord Krishna is pleading to the gopis. He said, don't keep any bad feelings towards me. He said, just try to understand that this has all been arranged. All right, so let's see how Srila Prabhupada, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes here. Let's see, we'll just read something from his purport here. That'd be text number 20. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in text number 20, you are not any of the persons you described in your answers to the first two questions. You are not a selfish materialist. You're not a selfish materialist, and you're not a merciful devotee, and you're not a mother or father. So please tell us, which of the 4 types of Guru Drohi do you belong to? The gopis are asking like that. Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying like this. So Krishna responds to this question of the gopis. He said, "Oh gopis, you are desiring to hear my defeat from my own mouth?" Because the gopis are saying, which of the 4 types of Guru Drohi are you? But Krishna said, I'm not one of these Guru Drohi. You want me to say like that? No. And then Krishna said, "Oh Sakhis," smiling and glancing at each other in glee, "please hear me. I, as a form of Narayan, am both Atmarama and Purnakama. So I'm Atmarama and Purnakama, but as the son of Nanda, I am neither of these. As a small cowherd boy, not having read Niti Shastra, I am also Akritagna, meaning ignorant. But as Narayan, I am Kritagna, I am all-knowing. Though I am Guru Drohi for having hurt you by once giving you up after you had been satisfied many times, I am not Guru Drohi, for I again gave you the satisfaction of seeing me." So this is Lord Krishna's joking words, you see, that he says, I am Narayan, but I'm also a cowherd boy. So as Narayan, I know everything, but as a cowherd boy, I don't know anything. So then the gopis say, "Then to which class do you belong?" And Lord Krishna says, "To none of these. I do not respond to any living entity who respects or worships me." But then the gopis say, "But how is this different from the group of Guru Drohi which you previously explained?" Right? Lord Krishna had already explained about the different groups in Guru Drohi, because Lord Krishna said, I don't respond to any living entity who respects or worships me. So it appears like he's indifferent, right? So the gopis are saying, "Oh, you're not different from the Guru Drohi." But Lord Krishna continues, "For those surrendered souls who worship me through Nam Kirtan and other means, I do not respond in order to make their worship more perfect." Right? If people doing Nam Sankirtan or that kind of bhajan kirtan, I say, Lord Krishna says, I don't respond because I want to make their worship more perfect. O gopis, those who you cannot understand my words, not seeing me, those surrendered souls develop humility. If we saw Krishna, then it's difficult to be humble, because I've seen the Lord, we'll become proud. So not seeing Krishna, then we develop more humility. Lord Krishna said, everything I have done has been useless because I am an offender and could not get a drop of mercy. So the devotee will think like that. You see, people think, I'm an offender, I couldn't get any mercy, Lord Krishna didn't appear before me, I'm so unfortunate. So this is the mood of the surrendered devotees. They will think like that. They develop humility. And Lord Krishna continues, constantly thinking in this way, Bhakti grows prominently, devoid of lust and anger. This is concerning the nature of those who have not attained prema. Right? People doing sadhana, the general devotees, we're doing sadhana. We haven't come to the level of prema bhakti yet. So we do things like kirtan and study shastra and worship the deity. We have not attained to the stage of prema yet. So, Lord, we should think like that. We should cultivate our humility, that I'm so unfortunate that I could not get any mercy from Krishna. On the other hand, the nature of those people with prema is different. For them, I do not respond in order to increase their attachment to me. Right? They've already got prema. But the Lord, He doesn't respond because He wants them to become more attached to Him. And Lord Krishna says, I appear and then I disappear in order to increase their attachment. This is devotees who've got prema. It will be like that. Sometimes the Lord will appear, then He will disappear. And this will increase their attachment. An example is given for the treatment of those with prema. And then the example is again the same thing. When a poor man gets wealth and then loses it, he becomes absorbed in thoughts of that wealth and cannot think of anything else, such as eating and drinking. Those who have attained prema and then lose the Lord react similar to this. Right? People who have got prema and then they meet the Lord, but then the Lord disappears, they will be like this. They will be completely, oh, what is that? They'll feel so much absorbed in the Lord. And they'll feel so disturbed. So it is desirable that those worshipping me have this complete attachment to me. To increase that attachment more and more, though it seems I do not respond to them. I respond to them additionally, but in a covered way. Actually, I am very merciful. So much as I am very merciful, as much as you are, being the ideal example and the answer to your second question. That is, I am the person who worships, even if the object of worship does not respond. One should not think that only if I am present that I respond, and if I am not present, I do not respond, for that is my promise. I will respond accordingly as they worship me. Just a minute. One should not think that only if I am present that I respond, and if I am not present, I do not respond. For then my promise was that I will respond as they worship me, that promise would be broken. Lord Krishna promised, as you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. Yeya tamam prapajante tamsta daiva bhajamyaham. So Lord Krishna has given that promise that as they surrender, so we should not think that if I am present, one should not think that only if I am present that I am responding. But if I am not present, I do not respond. No, Krishna always responds. Even when he is not present, he is present in the subtle form. He's maybe not visibly present, but he's present in the heart of the devotee. He hides himself and covers himself from the devotee. So the Lord is always there to guide the devotee and to arrange for them to increase their love. So if the Lord is present, then he is responding. But if we think he's not present, he's not responding, that's wrong. That's not according to the law, because the law is that as you surrender, I reward you accordingly. So Lord Krishna keeps that promise. As you surrender, I reward you accordingly. Sometimes he's present and sometimes he's not, but he's still there, guiding and caring for the devotee. As he says here, it says, it seems I do not respond to them, but I respond to them additionally, but in a covered way. Right? Is that clear? So we'll go ahead to text 21, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's writing here about the devotee, how the gopis gave up everything for him. So the gopis say, you respond to the devotees who have not achieved prema, and to those who have achieved prema in these ways is correct. However, then you consider us among the ordinary jivas, because you treat us also in this way. So the gopis are concerned how Krishna is treating them, that you're treating us like ordinary jivas. But you say you respond to the devotees who have achieved prema. So fearing this statement of the gopis actually didn't say that, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing that Krishna is worried that the gopis are thinking like that. So Krishna said, O gopis, dear to my life, who are atoms of lotus pollen, please forgive my behavior for treating you like ordinary living entities today. This is the meaning of evam, or evam can mean in this way. Lord Krishna continues, for me, you have given up family and religion and come here, not considering if it were correct or not. You gave up local rules and not considering what was dharma or adharma. You gave up the Vedas. You gave up relatives, wealth and friends, which means you gave up your affection for those in order to come to me. In order to increase your attraction, I have responded to you invisibly, as with the ordinary devotees. I disappeared from view with a desire to hear your talks filled with prema. Right? Lord Krishna is describing why he disappeared. He wants to hear the ecstasy of the gopis in their search for Krishna. He wants to watch, to observe their love. In this way, Krishna spoke with regret. I have done something very regrettable, which was very improper for me. Devotees such as you have never existed in the past, do not exist now, and cannot exist in the future. It is not possible to increase or decrease your attraction for me at all, by one atom or by a huge amount. Therefore, I desired to show the other prema bhaktas the great glory of your prema in separation. Please forgive me for my lack of consideration of you. You should not find fault with me, because I am dear to you. The woman does not see faults in the person she loves. So in this way, Lord Krishna is he's pacifying the minds of the gopis. He's explaining to them why he acted in the way in which he did. He says, I wanted the other devotees to see your love, to see the exalted position of your love. We know Lord Krishna sent Lord Balaram to Vrindavan. And then after Lord Balaram, then he sent Uddhava, who was his own secretary. And he sent both of them there to Vrindavan to pacify the minds of the gopis, because he knew how much the gopis were absorbed in ecstasy, in love for him. And he wants people like Uddhava and Lord Balaram to see their love, and then they will come back to Dwarka and they can tell all the devotees there about the activities of the gopis of Vrindavan. So Lord Krishna wants to highlight the activities of these gopis. He knows how much they're in love, how much they're attached to him. And he wants that attachment to continue. He wants to develop it even more and more and bring it to higher standards of love. So the gopis go on to become just like mad people in the ecstasy of love of God. Okay. So Lord Krishna, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying and putting this kind of explanation on behalf of Krishna, that Krishna is apologetic, and he's asking the gopis, please forgive me for my lack of consideration of you. You shouldn't find fault with me though, because I am dear to you. And he gives the example, a woman does not see faults in the person she loves. Okay. Are there any questions there so far? We have Srila Prabhupada's Krishna book. We can see how Srila Prabhupada describes this situation here. Here, Srila Prabhupada says, Lord Krishna indirectly answered the questions of the gopis, even these questions which implied that Krishna did not properly reciprocate their dealings. In answer, Krishna said that he, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is self-satisfied. He does not require anyone's love. But at the same time, he said, he is not ungrateful. My dear friends, Krishna continued, you might be aggrieved by my words and acts, but you must know that sometimes I do not reciprocate my devotees' dealings with me. My devotees are very much attached to me, but sometimes I do not reciprocate their feelings properly in order to increase their love for me more and more. If I can very easily be approached by them, they might think Krishna is so easily available. See, this is one of the arguments. Lord Krishna is saying, I don't want to make myself so easily approachable. So they will think Krishna is so easily available, and then we won't value something. If we get something easily, we won't value it. So sometimes I do not respond. And then he gives the example about the person who has no money, gets some money, he loses it, and he will think of all the money he lost 24 hours a day. So similarly, in order to increase the love of my devotees, sometimes I appear to be lost to them. And instead of forgetting me, they feel their loving sentiments for me increase. My dear friends, do not think for a moment that I have been dealing with you as I do with ordinary devotees. You see, the gopis are worried like that they're thinking Krishna is he thinks we're just ordinary souls. But Krishna said, don't think like that. I'm not dealing with you as I do with ordinary devotees. I know what you are. You have forsaken all kinds of social and religious obligations. You've given up all connection with your parents. Without caring for social convention and religious obligations, you've come to me and love me, and I am so much obliged to you that I cannot treat you as ordinary devotees. Material world, people, of course, are very attached. We know people coming to Krishna consciousness, we often see how difficult it is for them to sometimes change their habits. Even to get people to do things like give up eating onions and garlic, or drinking tea and coffee. It's very difficult for them. And also difficult. Sometimes we encourage people to become full-time devotees, take up full-time missionary work in Krishna consciousness, but people are very attached to their jobs. They get very much attached to working in a job. Even people, they can have a terrible job, We have this one young woman. She was a maid. She was just a maid in one family. She was serving in one family, and she was just like doing all the chores in the home. And she'd been there since she was a young girl. And she'd like grown up in the house just as a maid, doing all different chores, working from morning to night, hardly getting a day. And it was difficult for her to give up the job, because she'd been there her whole life. She'd been there since she was a young girl, and she hadn't got married yet or anything. Somehow we were able to convince her, give up the job. Come on, just leave it. Come and take up Krishna. And she did. She managed to give up the job, and now she's married and she's happy in Krishna consciousness. And she always appreciates, she always thanks me thank you so much for convincing me to give up my job. And so you see also, you can see Lord Chaitanya, how he preached to Rupa and Sanatan when they were Dabir Kas and Shakara Malik. They were serving the Nawab. They were big men in the government of the Nawab. The Nawab Hussain Shah, he was ruling all of Bengal. And there's Rupa and Sanatan. Sanatan was like Prime Minister. And Rupa Goswami was like the Chancellor of the Exchequer. They were big people in the government. But Lord Chaitanya told him, give up the job. You're working for these cow killers, And so he got them to give up their job working for cow killers. And they left everything. They went to Vrindavan. And similarly also, Krishnadas Kaviraj was living with his brother. And his brother was not a devotee, not much of a devotee. He had devotion for Lord Chaitanya, but no devotion for Lord Nityananda. So he got ordered in the dream, leave the home, go to Vrindavan. And so he took the order very seriously. The middle of the night, without waiting for the morning, he left the home and went to Vrindavan. And then Raghunath Das was from a very rich family. His father and his uncle were maintaining practically all the brahmanas in Bengal. They were very wealthy people, and Raghunath Das had no attachment for it. He left it all, and he went to Jagannath Puri, and he was begging at the door of the temple of Jagannath Puri. He gave it all up to join Lord Chaitanya's movement. So similarly, the gopis, they were very intense in their devotion to Krishna. They left behind everything. Of course, Lord Krishna also, he sent them home. He didn't tell them to leave home. He stayed home, but he encouraged them. So very, very special pastimes. Okay. So Prabhupada continues here describing this Krishna Lila. Lord Krishna said, do not think that I was away from you. I was near to you. I was simply seeing how much you were anxious for me in my absence. So, where was Lord Krishna? He's there everywhere. He's omnipresent. He knows everything. Srila Prabhupada continues, he said, so please do not try to find fault with me. Because you consider me so dear to you, kindly excuse me if I have done anything wrong. I cannot repay your continuous love for me, even throughout the lifetime of the demigods and the heavenly planets. It is impossible to repay you or show enough gratitude for your love. Therefore, please be satisfied by your own pious activities. You have displayed exemplary attraction for me, overcoming the greatest difficulties arising from family connections. Please be satisfied with your highly exemplary character, for it is not possible for me to repay my debt to you. So this is how Srila Prabhupada describes the meeting between the gopis and Lord Krishna here in the Vrindavan forest. And we're coming to this very final verse of this chapter, text number 22, a very important verse, very well-known verse. As I said, it's the title of Shivaram Swami's book, right? Shivaram Swami, a very senior devotee of Srila Prabhupada. He has been inspired to write a book, and the title of his book is Naparayeham. It's that I am not able to, in other words, to repay you. This is the idea. Naparayeham. So, somebody can read, or maybe...
Yeah, Maharaj. I'll read that, Maharaj.
Yeah?
I am not, text 22 translation. I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation.
Okay. Yes. This verse is mentioned a few times in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, anyway, I think we'll take our break now, and we'll come back after the break and we'll have a look at why Lord Krishna says he's not able to repay the gopis. All right? So we'll take a break for 10 minutes and we'll be back. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. All right, so we'll continue again. We're on this final verse, this very, very special verse, very famous verse, Naparayeham. All right? Naparayeham niravajya samyujam sasadu krityam vibhuda yusapiva yama bhajam durjana geha shrinkala srimvrishchayatadva pari yatu sadhuna. Naparayeham. Okay. Now, why is it Lord Krishna says, I'm not able to repay my debt for your spotless service? We want to understand this. The acharyas all comment about this. How it is that Lord Krishna is not able, he's saying, I'm not able to repay my debt even within a lifetime of Brahma.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Anupranam Jeshil Prabhupada.
Yes?
I remember similar kind of discussion came when we were discussing about Sudama, Brahmana, when he came to Krishna, he was offering chipped rice that he begged from streets to Krishna. So Krishna felt the same reciprocation with him. Also because Krishna has everything, he cannot beg like Sudama Brahmana, right? So that is one thing that comes to my mind. And also here, Krishna is
No,
God.
wait.
Yes. He knows
What are you? What? Sudama brought chipped rice. So
So Krishna cannot. So what Sudama got is not his property. He begged from the streets and then got from the neighbors and then got that for Krishna. Krishna cannot do that, right? Krishna has everything. He's full opulent. He has all the wealth in his world. Lakshmi is his wife. So what Sudama did, he could not repay. Like that, similar feeling I feel that what gopis are able to show their love, Krishna is not able to, because Krishna knows in and out, right? He knows our past, present, future. So, but gopis at this point in time, in that time frame, they don't remember anything. They only love Krishna. They don't have any distractions. So, that's how I'm thinking, Maharaj.
okay. Anyway, what I've heard from other sources, that one of the reasons why Krishna was not able to repay this debt was, the gopis, they gave up a lot to come to Krishna. All right? And we heard about all the things they gave up. They gave up the Vedas, they gave up the worldly opinion, they gave up their relatives, they gave up the attachment to the home and the family, all these things. Now Lord Krishna cannot do that. Lord Krishna is not able to give up all of these things. He's got his family and his devotees, and he's got his cows and so many things. Lord Krishna is not really able to give up everything. Although at one point he does go away from them all and goes off to Dwarka, but he goes there with his other mother and father. So Lord Krishna, he didn't give up everything. But the gopis, they gave up everything. They're completely detached. So that was one thing about why Krishna is not able to repay his debt. Another point is that the gopis' only desire is to please Lord Krishna. So how is Lord Krishna able to repay them for that? They just they don't want anything material, they just want to please Krishna. Their only desire is to please Krishna. And Lord Krishna, how is he able to repay that to them? How can he ever arrange that they can just simply please him? Another point is that the gopis are very focused on Krishna. And their focus is simply on one thing, Lord Krishna. There's nothing else in their minds, or they're not distracted by other things. It's only Krishna. But Lord Krishna, he's focused on many things. He's giving attention to so many different devotees, and his mother and father, his gopis, his cows. These are some points. There's several more.
Krishna Maharaj,
Yes?
I'm just feeling that it is so surprising that there are things that Krishna cannot do. Him being the Lord of the universe, is like the God of Godhead. He's head of the gods, right? He's supreme personality of Godhead, and I'm surprised there are things that he cannot do. That's really like something. It's really hard to process, but it makes sense, like because that means there are things that he cannot do, right?
Yes, well, yeah. We could say he cannot do them. Yeah, I mean,
Lot of
the thing is
gratitude,
difficult for him to repay his debt for this
that
service.
gratitude, right? The cannot do is attached to gratitude, right? It's not independently cannot do.
So certainly we can see a lot of gratitude there in the part of Lord Krishna, that he's appreciating how much the gopis have given, how they give up everything due to their love for Krishna. So he tells them, he said, let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. I remember in the past when we were very much into book distribution, one of the senior devotees was saying like that he said, we want to thank all you devotees for going out to distribute Prabhupada's books. And he said, we cannot repay you for what you're doing. You have to be satisfied by your own glorious deeds. So doing that work of distributing Krishna consciousness, it's so glorious. Nobody's going to thank you for it. You don't get any payment or anything. But let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. In other words, you have to be satisfied yourself that what you're doing is such an important thing, and it's worthy of the sacrifice. So the same way the gopis, they have sacrificed everything simply to give pleasure to Lord Krishna. And certainly very great sacrifice.
Maharaj,
Yes.
we came across that sloka 9.463. Bhagavan said, Aham bhakta paradhino hi hatantra ivadijo. That sloka. There he said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead said that the Brahmana, I am completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I am not at all independent because my devotees are completely devoid of material desires. I sit only within the core of their hearts. What to speak of my devotees? Even those who are devotees of my devotee are very dear to me.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is Lord Narayan speaking to Durvasa Muni, right? That's the position of the devotees. So the devotees, these gopis, they're the greatest of all devotees. And Lord Krishna is saying he cannot repay. He's indebted to them. Of course, it said later on, Lord Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he repaid the debt. He repaid that debt because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mood of the gopis. And he cultivated that mood, the devotion of Srimati Radharani. He cultivated that mood of separation. And he also experienced he cried, and he also felt the tribulations, the pains of the separation from Lord Krishna. So in this way, Lord Krishna himself was repaying his debt to the gopis by coming in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and experiencing all the trials and the tests of what it is to develop that that mood of Krishna consciousness, that intense love for Krishna. And in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relieved that debt to the gopis. All right, so different reasons why Krishna was not able to repay his debt was that the gopis gave up everything for Krishna. Krishna couldn't give up everything. And the gopis were very focused on Krishna, but Krishna was focused on many other things, not just one thing. And the gopis, they only want to please Krishna. And Krishna, he wants to please his devotees, and he has many devotees. So you can see why Krishna is not able to repay his debt to the gopis. Is this thing all clear?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Maharaj, we can also say that the love of the devotional service or the love of the gopis was ahetuki and apratihata.
I'm sorry, your voice is not clear, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, am I audible now?
Yes, please speak up, yeah.
Maharaj, can we say that the devotional service of the gopis or the love of the gopis was ahetuki and apratihata?
Oh yes, very much
Yes.
so. Yes. Very much so. Yeah. I think that was mentioned in one of the purports earlier. That was the nature of the gopis' love for Krishna. Certainly they had that mood. They had no material desire. And they were constantly engaged in Krishna's service. So yes, it was unmotivated, uninterrupted. And Lord Krishna, his service is also unmotivated, uninterrupted. His motive, Lord Krishna's mood is to serve his devotees. He wants to serve the devotees. So serving the devotees. Lord Krishna is also very busy fulfilling the desires of everyone in the hearts of everyone. Not an easy job.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Mm-hmm.
I have one doubt, Maharaj, regarding this. Like Krishna, gopis, they don't have any commitment. Even if they're like a husband and wife, they can leave husband and come to Krishna. But Krishna, even in a Vishnu form, he maintain all the universe. He have a commitment. Like us also have some commitment. They are not, we can give up everything, have a commitment, even preaching. We have to go to one place and do everything. we have to arrange everything. We have a commitment also. Right? Like that. That's why we cannot give up everything 100%. Very difficult to do that. Like gopis. They don't have any commitment. They can give up everything. Go.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes, well, that's why the gopis are so exalted, that they were able to do that. But we have to appreciate that what is the identity of these gopis? That they're not ordinary.
Yes, man.
They're not ordinary souls.
Yeah. Actually, they are all from Goloka coming direct to serve Krishna.
Sorry?
They are all from Goloka Vrindavan come serve in material Krishna.
Well, they're not all. We explained previously, some gopis are great sages from the Dandakaranya forest.
Okay.
And some gopis are the Shruti Charan, the personified Vedas. Right?
Okay.
And then some gopis are
jail of Jarasandhan prison.
some are just becoming perfect, and some are Nityasiddha, coming from the spiritual world. Not all are coming from spirit.
Okay, thank you, man.
All right, so we'll read a little bit from Naparayeham, Shivaran Swami, and hear what he has to say about this. He says, Lord Krishna says, O Sakis, were always very dear to my heart. If you question my love, who will not follow your example? If among my devotees you do not understand me, who will enter the kingdom of Bhakti? So, with downcast eyes, the thoughtful gopis replied, but why did you not reciprocate with us, who are sold to the cause of your love? And then Lord Krishna smiled and said, the reason I did not reciprocate was to increase your love. And the gopis sighed, is giving pain what you call affection? But Lord Krishna replies, dearly beloved, by withdrawing my audience, I induced you to love me more. Although this may have been painful, I had full trust that your love could only increase. Knowing you as my very, very dear friends, I had implicit faith you would never abandon me. So at this time the gopis raised their faces and looked into Krishna's tearful eyes as he said, do not accuse me of being a Guru Druha. I have nothing to do with such creatures. I am forever your loving Akka. Lord Krishna's concise revelation thrilled the gopis and filled them with rays of hope. Was it true? Was his motive in subjecting them in such an arduous ordeal based upon his unwavering faith in their fidelity? Was it really aimed at radically intensifying their love? And then Lord Krishna gives the example again about the poor man who gets some money and then he loses it. And then he becomes so, when he loses the money, he becomes so disturbed. The pain of the loss is all he can do is lament. So Lord Krishna says, in the same way, when devotees aspire for my company, while constantly engaged in my worship, I withhold my affection simply to increase their desire. The fire of this anxiety purifies their hearts, and although I bless them with a brief audience to further increase their eagerness, I disappear once again. Right? But of all possible tactics, why did you select this one? Asked the gopis. Lord Krishna says, in any activity, the incentive to advance is dependent upon keeping the goal in mind. Nothing can compare to the intensity of remembrance caused by the ordeal of separation. Nothing can compare to the intensity of remembrance caused by the ordeal of separation. Thus it may be said, the end justifies the means. Although a devotee feels some pain in my absence, the gain of acquiring love for me, the only means to purchase me, is well worth the inconvenience. The gopis said, while separated from you, how is anyone to live? Even if they're sadhakas or siddhas. Lord Krishna smiled. Even when a devotee laments like a pauper who has lost all his money, that absorption in the medium through which I am always present. O Sakis, I am never far removed from my devotees. The gopis replied, when will such tormented souls see you forever? And Krishna answered, when their affection has matured to the stage of true love, I always wait upon my devotees. The perfect example is Sri Narada, who long ago passed the test of love. Right? And then in the text they tell the story about Narada Muni, and how Narada Muni was a young boy, and how he'd served the Bhakti Vedantas, and he got blessings from them, and then his mother died, and he was left all alone, and he went to wander the world, and after some time then he sat down to meditate. And at that time he got a vision of the Lord. But then the Lord told him, you will not be able to see me again, not in this lifetime. And so Narada was concerned. But next life, Narada, he took birth as the son of Lord Brahma. It's a great devotee. And now, of course, Lord Krishna said, whenever Narada calls, I will come. So when the gopis heard that, they thought, wow, if Lord Krishna would come whenever we called, wow, what a boon that would be. Because Narada Muni, he can call to Krishna, and Krishna will come there. So the gopis say, oh, we want to be like that. So Lord Krishna continues defending himself, he says, withholding my love is not a sign of indifference or apathy or contempt. On the contrary, I do it to secure my devotee's determination to intensify his meditation upon me. My desire is to increase the absorption of love. So, Krishna says, there is no absorption as intense as that which is born of separation from a lost object. What to speak of separation from the object of one's love? I want to intensify the loving devotion of my devotees, who by such contemplation they will rise to the platform of uninterrupted devotional service. And then he said, Krishna continues to say, as remembrance of me progresses in stages, it destroys increasingly subtle obstacles within the heart, eventually bringing to light the treasure of prema. Right? As we're doing sadhana, gradually we see more and more our anarthas. And when the anarthas come manifest, then we have to get rid of them. You have to scrape them off. Just like cooking something, you'll see sometimes the impurities will come to the top. You have to take out the impurities. So the different anarthas have to be removed in order to develop prema. So faced with the difficulties, a devotee cries pitifully for Krishna, but ultimately gains Krishna's eternal association. Krishna continues, he said, I am not bound by rigid convention. I am driven by an urge to benefit my devotees and withhold my darshan only when it is favorable for their devotion. I do not always reciprocate the affection of living beings. Try to conceal. Krishna tried to conceal his smile. He said, however, I find that my devotees generally always benefit from my separation. So in this way, Shivaram Swami is describing how devotees can understand this mood of Lord Krishna, how he doesn't give himself completely to his devotees, how he doesn't give his darshan so easily. He wants to see that they're really, really intensely serious. So this, of course, is difficult for devotees to understand. Okay, so Lord Krishna is describing he cannot repay his debt to the gopis. There's prema, love of God, prem punarto mahan. The goal of life is to develop Krishna prem. But to get to Krishna prema, we have to go through all the preliminaries. The Lord Krishna said, I am controlled only by love. Whoever successfully completes the trials of love, always absorbed in meditation on me, calling my names with hearts filled with remorse, finds me forever, never to lose me again. Only to increase the love of my devotees do I bestow hardships upon them, and in so doing incur my own sorrow. So Lord Krishna also feels for the devotees when we're suffering. So Lord Krishna has revealed he was not indifferent. And although his mythology was painful to the gopis understood that Krishna desired only the welfare of his devotees. No. So the gopis are concerned. They say, okay, this is your strategy, but where do we fit into this? Do we fit into the category of ordinary devotees? We're supposed to be your eternal consorts. So where do we fit into your plan? So Lord Krishna says, no one is as dear to me as you are. I certainly know the extent of your sacrifice. If that is so, if we truly occupy a unique place in your heart, then what reason did you abandon us? As you would ordinary devotees. So Krishna had conquered the kingdom of the gopis' minds with his logic and charm. Like a king occupying a land, he foresaw that the conquest of arms must necessarily be followed by a conquest of the heart. To awaken the gopis' eagerness for the intimacy of the rasa dance, he would have to resolve these final objections before they would fully fully comply with Krishna's desire. Lord Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He wants to enjoy in the greatest extent. No one can equal him in enjoyment. But when he saw how the gopis were enjoying, and particularly how Radharani was enjoying, then Lord Krishna was thinking that he wants to enjoy, but he sees that they're enjoying a billion times greater pleasure than he was enjoying. And this is why, of course, Lord Krishna came again in his next avatar. He came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can experience this mood of the gopis. He can cultivate this Radha Bhav, and he can experience this ultimate enjoyment. And at the same time, he can also repay his debt to the gopis. Because nobody likes to be a debtor, right? If we have some debts, we want to take care of them. So, in the same way, Lord Krishna, feeling himself indebted to the gopis, he wants to repay that debt. And that's why he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was able to pay off that debt to the gopis. All right, so these gopis, they had descended for the they had descended to the material world, suffered untold anxiety, and when the demons entered Vrindavan to kill Lord Krishna, they did not fear for their own safety. They learned only for Sri Krishna's well-being, a fear that haunted their hearts day and night. So this is the mood of the gopis. They only care about Krishna's pleasure. They have no thought of their own pleasure. So Lord Krishna wants to repay them. How can you repay someone like that? They only want to please Krishna. And how can Krishna do something to repay them? He has a debt to them. So very difficult for him to repay them. All right.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
I have heard Krishna came as a Mahaprabhu to repeat the debt. But at the same time, the principal gopis, 8 gopis also appear in Chaitanya Leela. Radharani all appear. Is that is payback or not? They also appear as Chaitanya Charitamrita, they appear. Radharani appear, Lalita appear, Saka appeared as Swarup Damodara, and so many, these all. He paid or not? Pay back the love. They appear together also.
No, Lord Chaitanya is enjoying with all of them. They're all taking part in his pastimes. So he's able to repay them because Lord Chaitanya is organizing the Sankirtan, and they're all taking part in his Sankirtan movement.
By Sankirtan movement, huh?
Yes, by Sankirtan, by discussing topics of Krishna, by relishing this. Lord Chaitanya was also, they were cultivating the mood of separation from Krishna, the mood of the gopis. Vipralamba Seva. Mahaprabhu was experiencing that. He was constantly crying in ecstasy, in separation from Krishna. Right? He had gone to Kanai Natsala, and in Kanai Natsala he had actually met Krishna. Krishna had come there and embraced him. And then after Kanai Natsala, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back to Mayapur. And then he was transformed, and he called all the devotees together. He'd come from Gaya, he'd been initiated, then he'd gone to Kanai Natsala, and Krishna had come and embraced him, and then he was always feeling, where is Krishna? Because Krishna appeared and then disappeared. This is how Lord Krishna is dealing with those devotees who are on the platform of prema, that he will appear to them and then he will disappear. And in this way they become more and more anxious for Lord Krishna. So Mahaprabhu was experiencing all of this. He was feeling Krishna, Krishna, and he was always calling out, where is Krishna? Just like in Goswami Astikam. Where are you now, O son of Nanda Maharaj? You know, are you on the banks of the Yamuna, or are you by the Govardhan hill? The Goswamis were always going around Vrindavan. Where are you now, Krishna? They're looking for Krishna, searching for Krishna. So that is the mood of the gopis. That is that mood of Vipralamba Seva, service and separation. So Mahaprabhu was in that mood. He was always experiencing that separation from Krishna. He would see the sea at Jagannath Puri and he would think it's the Yamuna. And there was that sand dune there at Govardhan. He thought that was the Govardhan hill. And this way he was thinking he was in Vrindavan. And he was thinking of Krishna. And in his Gambira, in his room there in Jagannath Puri, he was constantly crying and feeling the ecstasy. And that is described also in his Shikshastikam, the Shikshastikam prayers. Feeling yourself.
Another thing is Vipralamba deities is Lord Jagannath. Huh? They say the mood of Lord Jagannath is a Vipralamba.
Oh, really?
The Gaurganda Maharaj, His Holiness Gaurganda Maharaj, one lecture giving that point. I don't know, Maharaj. He gives that Vipralamba's mood is the highest. Lord Jagannath Baladi Subhadra is the highest mood. The Vipralamba mood.
Oh, really? Oh.
That's why in Bhubaneswar they're putting deities. The last deities is Jagannath Baladi. Middle is Krishna Balaram. First is Gaurnitai. Putting the Vipralamba stage. That's why Mahaprabhu said also went to the Jagannath Puri. I don't know, Maharaj. I heard from his lecture.
Oh, I'm hearing for the first time. Very interesting.
Jagannath Puri, Jagannath is a Vipralamba stage, anchoring. That's why putting the hand also like that, anchoring to all the devotee to arc.
Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you for that. Okay, any other questions or comments? So everyone's clear about repaying the gopi, about how to repay the gopis? So when Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's able to enter into that mood. He's able to focus, to be fixed on the mood of Krishna, not to be thinking of other things. Right? Mahaprabhu was teaching logic, but then he'd gone to Gaya, he'd been initiated, he came to Kanai Natsala and Krishna had appeared to him. He came back to Mayapur, he didn't want to do anything except chant the name of Krishna and talk about Krishna, and everything was in relation to Krishna. And all the students were surprised that they had come to learn grammar He said, yes. He said, but all I want to do is talk about Krishna. He said, I'm not able to teach anymore. All I can do now is talk about Krishna. And so this was the mood of the gopis, completely focused on only Krishna, nothing else, diverting the mind. Ananya Bhakti. That is the mood of Ananya Bhakti, one-pointed, not multi-focused, right? Ananya, Vayavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuranandana bahushakahi anantasya buddhayo vayavasayanam. Those who are on this path are resolute in determination, their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So the gopis, they were very focused, Vayavasayatmika buddhi, or Ananya Bhakti, very fixed on Krishna, just Krishna. Their only interest was in Krishna. And they want to please Krishna, everything they did was for the pleasure of Krishna. So to please the gopis, how to repay the gopis? All they want to do is to please Krishna. So what can Krishna do to repay the gopis? Very difficult. All right?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, I have a question. Maharaj, here we see it's very difficult to approach Krishna.
What is that?
It's very difficult to get Krishna's mercy, but it's very easy to get Mahaprabhu's mercy. But in Kali Yuga, Mahaprabhu came as Channavata, hidden. The whole world doesn't know Mahaprabhu. They only know Krishna more than Mahaprabhu, but to approach Krishna is more difficult. But why Mahaprabhu made himself hidden the world?
Well, of course, the reason why Mahaprabhu hid himself was because there's so many bogus avatars. Because you've got so many people claiming to be avatars. So Mahaprabhu didn't want just to be another one of those. He didn't want to encourage people to be some bogus avatar. So he wanted to he was very cautious about that. That's the danger, that if someone claims to be an avatar, then you get so many other people who also come along and say, we're also avatars. Our guru is also avatar. And so Mahaprabhu didn't want to encourage that. He wanted to encourage simply bhakti, devotion to Krishna. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. Right? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya glorified Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he came to teach us Vairagya and Vidya with Bhakti Yoga. Vairagya means detachment from all that is material, and Vidya, transcendental knowledge, along with Bhakti Yoga. So Mahaprabhu's put the emphasis on these things. He doesn't want people just simply coming and claiming they're avatars. In Kali Yuga, you get so many avatars. So Mahaprabhu wanted to remain hidden. So he did not reveal himself in the Kali Yuga. Of course he did. To some souls he revealed his form as Sadbhuj, the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he revealed his form as Radha and Krishna to Ramananda Rai. So to some very intimate devotees, Lord Chaitanya did reveal his identity. But generally, the common people, he did not want to be recognized like that. So, Kali Yuga, you get so many cheaters, so many imposters. So Mahaprabhu didn't want to be part of that.
Hare Krishna
Okay.
Maharaj. For one group in Navadip, those time Mahaprabhu not encouraged to go to his devotee there. For Haripol group, what they pray Supreme Lord as a Mahaprabhu. He won't accept it that. He want Krishna be Supreme Lord.
Yes.
Mm.
One Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Yeah, Mahaprabhu. Very few people actually are aware of Mahaprabhu. It's a fact. Of course, with Prabhupada, he has brought more prominence to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the Krishna consciousness movement. We're introducing people gradually to the position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we have to understand, how to recognize avatars. All of these things should be understood, that the avatar is mentioned in the scriptures, and he will perform certain activities which will be described in the scriptures. And so, of course, we have evidence about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the scriptures. But these verses are not always recognized. And for example, in the first canto, third chapter, you get the different incarnations of the Lord, and there's no mention about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. But later on in the 11th canto, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is mentioned. When the 9 Yogendras were questioned by Maharaj Nimi, so Karabhajana Muni was asked to speak about the incarnations of the Lord in each age. And at that time he mentioned how the Lord comes in the Kali Yuga in a golden form and performs Sankirtan. And then there's another verse also in the Mahabharata which describes how the Lord will take sannyas when he's quite young man. He will give up householder life and he will enter into sannyas. And he will be equipoised, and he will carry the danda and the kamandalu water pot. So there is evidence in the scriptures, and devotees can recognize.
10th canto also there is the evidence. 10th canto 8th chapter.
Okay.
Shuklo rakto tatha pita idanim krishna tam jat gataha. So that it is mentioned here. He appeared.
Yes.
He has appeared in blackish color in Dwapar Yuga. He appeared Lord Ramachandra in the other color Shuka. So that Pita, yellow is depicting Lord Chaitanya here.
Yes, right. Okay. Yeah, we see evidence is there in the scriptures, certainly. If we study the scriptures, we will find the evidence there to support the position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he did not like to get that kind of worship. He was very cautious. He wanted to remain hidden. But sometimes he would reveal himself, just like at one point when he was in Mayapur, he sat on the Vishnu altar and he was giving benedictions to everyone. He was revealing his divinity. Okay. So there's a section here, a little interesting, mentions about some of the gopis. It says, according to the Lord's plan, having taken birth from the wombs of qualified gopis, and having reached puberty, and having gained proper association, some of the Rishi-chara gopis acquired fully developed purvarag. To them, Yoga Maya gave impotent husbands who, when the time came for their wives to meet Krishna, were unable to stop them to going to their rendezvous with him. Other Rishicharas did not have the good fortune of perfecting their association with Lord Krishna. So they were not freed of material contamination and could not immediately reach the stage of prema. So did Lord Krishna not see these gopis enter the company or enter the company of their husbands, become pregnant, and in time give birth? Later on, did he not arrange suitable friendship for them so they could discover the treasure of first love, purvarag? By such purification, did these gopis not cast off their material bodies and acquire fully transcendental forms qualified to worship him? So when these same Rishi-chara gopis heard the sound of Krishna's flute, they too became demented women. Casting aside family duties, they ran to meet Krishna through doors, out windows, and down ladders to increase their desire. Was it not his Yoga Maya who stationed their angry husbands with sticks in their hands wherever the gopis went? Restrained from meeting Krishna, these gopis saw their family members as enemies, and while standing on the verge of death, they prayed, "O Priyasaka, O life of Vrindavan forest, if we cannot meet with you to behold your lotus-like eyes, allow us in a future birth to become your maidservants. For now, by simply looking upon you within our minds, we shall embrace you to our hearts." Thus lamenting, these gopis stood with eyes shut, meditating upon their only love. Did Lord Krishna not know the Rishi-charas who became purified by the fire of separation? Did Krishna not put an award? Did Krishna not award them purely transcendental bodies? Was it not Krishna who inspired Yoga Maya to arrange for their guardians to be negligent? Did he not give them intelligence to follow the perfect gopis who had left earlier to heed the call of the flute? And what about the last category of Rishi-chara gopis, those who were unable to leave their homes upon hearing the sound of his flute, because they were still influenced by the adverse opinion of society? Their love was affected. Thus they were not qualified to meet him. Who else but he came to them? Who else but he came to them within their hearts, embraced them, and bestowed the happiness of his touch? Who else but he inspired them to bear the fire of separation? Who else but he would grant them the opportunity, the appropriate night when, after having been purified through ordeal, fully spiritualized, they gained Yogamaya's consent to meet Lord Krishna? So in this way you can see the pastimes of the gopis is being described. How much sacrifice the gopis made in order to achieve the association of Krishna. Different levels of gopis. We heard about left wing and right wing, and Rishi Charas and Nityasiddha gopis, and so many different. Okay, so we will stop here tonight. If there are no more questions, we'll go on tomorrow to chapter 33. All right? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.